All right, so to continue our conversation, you watched the video, I hope. It kind of went over a lot of the things. These notes are short, but mine are actually a little longer. I've taken a whole chapter and shrunk it to this one page. So let's talk about FDR becoming president. Well, I'm clicking. Okay, so he launched a New Deal. So with this, we talk about the first 100 days. You kind of sum up a president with what does he get done in the first 100 days of his presidency. Did he attempt to do all the things that he promised during the election? Well, the first thing that Roosevelt's going to do is he's going to put in fireside chats, try to reassure a troubled nation. There's going to be pictures in the paper of him like in a sweater, sitting next to Eleanor with the fire, and you can hear like the fire crackling on the radio. And basically the idea is that he's in his living room, you're in your living room, and he's talking to you. The presidents at this point are always at a podium. It's always a speech. They're talking at you rather than to you. If you've ever listened to a speech by Roosevelt, in the speeches, the little quotes in the video, he talks slower. He doesn't talk super fast. He doesn't use a ton of big words. Yes, he shows his intelligence, but he makes sure to talk to people. He explains his program. He asks for their support. We're trying this. Let's try. And he explains it in detail. His early programs don't quite hit the mark. First one was the Agricultural Adjustment Administration. We're going to talk about some of these ABC agencies. It's going to pay farmers to not work a quarter to half of their land. So we're going to pay you not to. Well, actually, that's going to start to work. After 1933, farm prices are going to rise. Farm economy becomes healthier. But there's two problems. One, if I am a tenant farmer or a sharecropper, the people who own my land, basically that's the land they're going to choose not to till, not to plant. So it kind of had that adverse effect of those that were already really low, and it kind of helped those big landowners. The other negative is the Supreme Court is going to rule it unconstitutional because they say that the government has no authority to compel farmers to plant less. Now, it's not going to completely go away. We're going to talk about that one again. The other one that he did was the Tennessee Valley Authority. It approved the TVA as kind of a government-owned corporation, and basically it's going to build dams in the Tennessee Valley. Well, this is going to help with flooding. You saw the flooding impact. It's going to help with flooding, but it also is going to bring electricity. Those dams are going to create electricity. So it had an impact, but some positives and some negatives. Next, he's going to try to hit American industry. Attempted to reform and revive American industry. So we're going to have some ABC agencies for this one. The National Industrial Recovery Act. We're going to create codes of fair competition. Basically, we're going to regulate regulations that limited work production, quotas, how much we're making. Establish minimum wages. Set limits on work hours, how many hours you can work. Ensure that wages would rise along with prices. It was the first time the federal government recognizes unions by law. Creates more public works. Problem. Businesses said it was too much interfering directly in their affairs. Workers liked it, but said it didn't quite give enough. And ultimately, it's going to make it to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court will rule it unconstitutional, like they did the Agricultural Adjustment Administration, saying that Congress cannot regulate businesses within a state. If you're not going out, you can't regulate those businesses. So his early stuff so far, we have Tennessee Valley Authority did pretty good, gave electricity, helped some things. Agricultural Adjustment Administration ruled unconstitutional. The NIRA, the National Industrial Recovery Act, ruled unconstitutional. Next, he's going to focus on the banks. We got to fix these banks. He's going to set up a bank holiday. Basically, it was a mandate that all banks would close for at least 2 days, any bank that was open. It actually lasted for 4 total, but basically passed the Emergency Banking Act. So these banks closed down, and they're going to go in and they're going to look, are you stable? If you are, resume normal business. If you're not, we got to come in and do some work. They also took the nation off the gold standard, passed the Glass-Steagall Banking Act. Banks cannot gamble with your money. They cannot invest in the stock market. Looking at some of your notes here, banks still use your money to loan to other people, but they can't gamble it. They can't put it in the stock market, that type of thing. And the big one, FDIC, money in the bank was insured. Then it was up to about 2,500. I think now it's like 250,000. I'll have to look up that number. But your money in the bank is insured. Last thing for this one, we're going to help the unemployed through some relief programs. We're going to create some public works. Public Works Administration is going to create some publicly funded construction projects, dams, bridges, roads, public buildings. It's going to spend its money a little slow in the beginning. Not going to have a huge impact in that first 100 days, but it is a start. So we got some ABC agencies. We got some button heads with the Supreme Court. We're making some baby steps, but we're not quite there just yet.